Hey everybody, welcome to Lead Therapy. First of all, I'd like to apologize. You see me walking in and out of frame, turning the camera on and off. My editing software took a dump, and so I've got to get some new software. Plus, my camera now is the battery's not holding a charge, so I've got to try to get a battery, so I've got to try to get this done fast. Man, what a Saturday I had. I found out that there was going to be a town hall meeting on gun violence in Florida. And it was going to be held pretty much by the Democratic Party. It was being hosted by a Democratic representative for Florida in this district. And so once I heard about this, and I heard about it late, I felt that I had to get to this thing, and of course I know it was going to go on. So I did make it there. There was only, they said, 190 seats available. I did make it in. I did have a place to choose to sit. I chose to sit in the back for a good reason, to see if there was anybody else there that I could feel that was like-minded like me for the Second Amendment. But I knew there would be few. I found out that this was set up mainly through Facebook. And of course through all Democrats, and instead of having, you know, a couple of days in advance notice, there was only less than 24 hours advance notice. So they were trying to just stack the deck and just get their own like-minded people in there, but I made it in. So it began. The representative, she spoke her crap, but she seemed very nice. And then they opened it up for people to ask questions or make statements. And instead of coming to a podium, they had somebody bringing a microphone around the room. I only wanted to spend about an hour there because I didn't want to stay too far away from home. I did have somebody here with Mom, but like I said, I wanted to be 1 hour and gone. But of course, a lot of people had a lot to say, and of course, it was a lot of just crap. And the main gist of it was ban assault weapons. Most of them would make these statements that they're going to make a change. They're tired of all this. What really gets me is not one person blamed the shooter. Not one person blamed the resource officer that didn't go in and confront the shooter. Not one person blamed the 2 or 3 other police officers that showed up soon after that and did nothing. Not one person blamed the what was it, 18 or 19 or even more times the police were called to the house and reports weren't written. They did not blame the sheriff. They did not blame the FBI for not reacting to the tips. It was just, they want to ban assault weapons, and they would clap and just hoot and holler, and almost I thought they were going to start high-fiving. I even had a guy who said that there should be no guns at all. So finally I was able to get my hand up, and they actually came to me. And I said, well, I'm here to voice my opinion for the other side. Well, the room got so quiet, and since I was sitting in the back, every head turned, and you could feel the laser beams being shot at me, and they were like lethal ones that, I almost thought that that they might rush me or something. That's seeing the look in their faces. It was just amazing. And so I chose to, instead of trying to tell them they're wrong and all that, I tried to give them information. And so I asked them if they knew what the AR stand for in AR-15. And only 2 or 3 people raised their hands, and they were actually all women, and they all said that it stood for Armor Light. So they actually did their research and knew what it meant. And I said, but I bet a lot of you think that it either means automatic rifle or assault rifle. And a lot of them they didn't say yes, but a lot of them shook their head yes. And I said, that's not true. I said, the civilian version is an AR-15, is a semi-automatic rifle. You pull the trigger once, and round comes out. And if you have 30 rounds in a magazine, you have to pull it 30 times to shoot all 30 rounds. Now I said, they also mentioned their weapons of war. I said, now your so-called weapons of war that you're speaking about, or assault weapons, I said, is actually an M16, which has select fire, which you can switch it to automatic to so not two, but you get my gist. And of course you're not on a time limit, but of course there's a lot of people want to talk, so I tried to get as much as I could. And I said you all are wanting to do an assault weapons ban, which was all. Does everybody know that there's one in place in the 90s up to like 2004, like 10 years? and most of them did not know that. And I explained to them, do you know why they did not continue with that ban? And nobody said anything. And I said, because it did nothing to stop mass shootings. I said Columbine happened and a lot of other mass shootings. And that's when they didn't want to hear what I had to say, and a couple of you said, sit down, sit down. And the representative said, let him talk, let him talk. And then somebody said, well, stop making a statement and ask a question. So the only thing I asked the representative, what did she thought about the resource officer didn't react, and she, of course, said there was, a horrible thing, and he should have. So that's all the time I had to talk. I did the best I could. But then it actually got even better to where, I wanted to then leave that. I wanted to leave then, but there was, I wanted to hear more of what they were saying, but it's the same thing, ban assault weapons, ban assault weapons. So it ended by getting 4 o'clock. I said, I got to get out of there. It was getting close to getting done, and so other people were leaving, so I decided to go. But it was nice to know, nice to see and hear when I was leaving, people actually thanked me for being there to hear the other side. One thing I did want to say is when people were talking and then these people were clapping and hooping and hollering about gun control and assault weapons bans, I was looking to see who was not clapping like myself, to see if there's others in the room that were like mine, and I saw about 2 or 3, but they were cowards and didn't raise their hands at all. So unfortunately I was the only one that stood up for the Second Amendment. So like I said, a lot of people were nice to me as I was leaving and were saying thanks for being here. And when I made it out there, somebody followed me behind, and it was a woman, and she said she was with the local paper and she would like to do a little interview. And I was surprised, but I did want to get home, but I didn't want to turn down that opportunity. So she asked a few questions, but her main thing was her main question was, if the two sides could get together, could they do some type of gun control, some type of banning of, even the AR-15s. I said, that's not going to happen. And she said, well, why is that? I said, because it wouldn't stop there. I said, we banned the 200 and some rifles that the old ban had. Somebody's going to use another weapon after that, and then they would want to ban that and just keep going until they got what they really want, is a total no guns at all. But in between me talking with her, the meeting had let out, and numerous people came by me and said, thank you for being here, with your opinion. And I actually had other people stop and talk to me and asking me questions about guns, because they thought they knew about it, but since I was there, they actually were asking me questions. So I think I did help some people. Of course, I don't think I turned them around, but I actually give them some information that they were just totally didn't know anything about. So that was my day on Saturday, and I will see if I can find the news article. Sometimes they do twist words. I thought it was going to be in Sunday's paper, but I checked that, but she said she was running on a tight deadline, so I'm going to check today's paper, which is Monday. So thanks for watching the video, and I will see you guys next time.